This is Bold Move Makers. If this is your first time listening, welcome and thank you for tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to hit that like button and subscribe and even send it to a friend. And I think that you're going to get a lot out of it. So let's get right into it. Today, what I wanted to talk about was the journey is not going to be easy for those who are chosen. Now, I thought a lot about this, and I don't like the necessary chosen one message, but this is pretty resonant because if you think about the world today and how social media has made it so easy, or at least appeared to be successful, right? With social media fame, with Insta fame, and all of it seems to be so fast. But those of us who are on a different track, who are chosen by God for a bigger purpose, and maybe that's you. Maybe you feel like, you know what, I think there's more to my life. And sometimes what you see doesn't resonate with your soul. And I can agree with you if you say, this is not really the path that I believe I'm chosen to take, because not all of us are meant to follow the path of this world. It says, don't conform to the ways of the world, but be transformed through the renewing of your mind. And so, what does that mean? It means that we don't always get to do what the world does, and we're not going to see the same type of success in the same way. Now, the world has its systems, and the systems are built around economy, but God's economy is a little bit different. We're supposed to submit ourselves to the will of God. And so if you are one of the chosen, you understand what that means. That means I don't just get to go out here and do everything I want to do. Yes, in the past, before I was living for God, we might have lived any kind of way we wanted to. Right? We party, we went out, we drank, we smoked, we did all of these things. But then when it was really time for God to say, it's time, your time is now, He plucked you out of the world. And now you're in this new kingdom assignment, and you can't operate the same way everybody else does. And quite frankly, your soul is not aligned to certain people. So maybe even along this course, you've lost friends. The same jobs don't feel the same. Your family may have started to fall away. And you notice all these things happening simultaneously. And all of this stripping away has caused you to question your journey. Where am I right now? Why is this happening? Why am I losing everybody that I love? And maybe you've questioned that. But you know what? I want to encourage you that the journey may be harder for a chosen, but in the end, you're going to reap a reward that you weren't expecting, and you won't have room enough to receive. So I got my notes here, and I want to share a few points with you. And the first thing is, you may be closer to your breakthrough than you believe. And listen, I know you hear that and you say, well, you know what? It hasn't happened for me yet. It's been 10 years I've been praying for this, or it's been months and I've been going through this. And when is it actually going to shift? You've heard all of the prophecy messages, and you've heard the church tell you this, and you've heard all the YouTube influencers tell you this, but you know what? Your time is coming. There is a set time and a designated time that God has put for you to achieve what He has called you to do in this earth. So, number one, giving up is not an option. There is no giving up. In your spirit and your soul, you may have laid down and said, you know what? I'm done. I'm finished with this. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to keep waiting. And you've given up and thrown up your hands and you tried to walk away. You laid down, went to sleep that night, and God gave you a dream, and you're like, no, I got to keep going. Or maybe you decided that you wanted to try your own way, and you went down that path and you ran into sure destruction. And the truth is, when we try to take matters into our own hands, we make it worse. We think that we know our way, but the way of a foolish man will take him down a path of destruction. And when you start to follow your own mind, guess what? Our mind is deceitful. The way we think is deceitful. And our heart can deceive us, even in thinking that we know what's best. And think about all of the mistakes and the trials and the tribulations you've gone through. Some were not your own doing. Others of it you caused based on choices, people you were around, places you were visiting, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that alignment really matters. And so now that you're aware and you've gone through this awakening, you understand who God is calling you to be, or at least you understand that you have been called, you're going to live differently. And you're going to realize that you get a second wind, and even when you weren't praying for it. You understand that sometimes there's this pull within you that continues to drive you to move and to get up, and you're putting one foot in front of the other, and you're like, I'm not even walking right now. I don't even know how I got here. And all of a sudden you realize that the Holy Spirit is in you, causing you to move and causing you to shift and pivot and do things even when you don't have the power within yourself. So never underestimate the power of what God can do if you don't give up. Point number two, the journey for the chosen looks different than the social media journey. And the truth is, and I thought about, some of the stories and that you hear, and you hear people say, you know what, I did this for two days or 10 days, and all of a sudden I grew my following by 3,000 and got this many, and all of this stuff happened, and it seemed to happen for them overnight. You decide you want to follow what they said. The guru said this, the AI influencer told you this, and this person that's got a million followers said, here's my formula. You try that formula, you go at it, and you're doing your hardest, and you find that you've spent your wheels, you've put all this work in, and what happens? Nothing. You're thinking, is it me? Am I aligned? Am I doing the right thing? Is this really what my path is? And then you start to question, is it what they said that doesn't work? Or really, you find that sometimes the blocker is from God. It's not even about what they told you to do or didn't or not do. It's not even about the formula or the plan or the process that they've given you. All of that's good, and some of it works and some of it will work. But when you are chosen by God, divine timing is what matters most. That journey for you is not going to take you from 0 to 1,000 to overnight fame and instant recognition, because there's a preparation process that happens. Over the course of my life, there was a preparation for every step of my life. It says God will take you from faith to faith, from glory to glory. Each step that you move through, there's a new level that you have to achieve. But first, that level comes with learning and growing on the level that you're currently at. It's learning how to let go of some things that you may believe you need, or people that you think you need to be aligned with, that God doesn't even want you to be in contact with, because his plan is to bring glory to his name. And when you're connected with people that you think can get you there, or systems that you believe are for you because they said it was supposed to work, that takes the glory off of God and places it in those people and in the systems that they are sharing or showing you. God wants your commitment. He wants your obedience. He wants your alignment. So, waiting patiently, confidently, understanding that God has a set time. Excuse me. He has a set time for us. He has a plan for us. He has a purpose for us, but the waiting is building in you what it is that he requires of you. So never underestimate the power of that wait. It doesn't feel good because we don't want to wait. We want the microwave society version. We want that fame. We want that instant fame. We want that instant recognition. We want that instant gratification for the job and the work that we've done, because we believe we've done good work. And in some cases, God wants to show you that there's more in you. He wants to place more of his spirit in you so that you can rise to the occasion. Because to be honest, when you look around, you see a lot of those that have that level of visibility lack some form of integrity. They crumble at the first few comments that are negative. They crumble when they don't receive that level of praise, or their viewer count goes down. They believe that those metrics are driving their success. But to be honest, one of the things that I've always learned over the years, and even in being able to impact and to have trained all over the world, is that if I could just impact one, I did my job. It doesn't matter if there's a packed room of people. When we're chosen, we know that we're there for a purpose. So we don't look at the world's way as the way that we are designed to operate within. Now, we are in the world, but not of it. So that means that yes, we do participate in the world economy, but we don't put stock in the systems and say that this is the only way that God can work. Point three, the wait looks different for the chosen because the chosen have to go through more to prepare them. And the story of Joseph really, I've been hearing it over and over again lately. And the story is so meaningful because maybe like you, have waited years for something to happen. I've had dreams and I'm a dreamer. I mean, I can come up with concepts and ideas and I can, I'm creative by nature. And that can make you try many things. That can make you move in many ways. And sometimes you get a vision and a dream and you're ready to go tomorrow. But Joseph got his dream at 17 and he told his family and his brothers, and they hated him for it. And that sometimes shows you that even those closest to you don't see what you may see. They didn't hear what God told you, they weren't there in those dreams, but they definitely aren't going to necessarily be the ones to champion you. So sometimes sharing your goals and your visions and your dreams with those that are in competition with you, or they grew up with you and they knew you back when, they don't see you as that person who evolved and growing and is going to be somebody that's going to impact the world in any way, right? So they're already counting you out, or at least diminishing your impact. And so when he shared with his brothers, they threw him to a pit. And Joseph was like, "Why are you throwing me in the pit? I'm your brother. I love you. I only wanted to share with you what God showed me because it was so exciting. And I could see that there was a plan for my life." So he was sharing out of his haste, but it wasn't to make his brothers feel beneath him. It wasn't for his dad to feel like he was trying to subject his family to his, vision. But he was just sharing because he was happy about being able to see and actually feel this vision that it would come to life one day. So when his brothers sold him into slavery, Joseph didn't see that dream for years. He got thrown into slavery. He was moved into to work for Potiphar. Potiphar's wife lied on him, and he got thrown into prison. So from the age of 17 to the age of 30, he didn't actually see that his life was improving other than the fact that everywhere he was, whether he's in the Potiphar's house or whether he was in the prison, he received favor, which means that God was still operating in his life even in those times. So that gave him an essence that God is still with me. I'm still in this pit, but I'm still being used because everywhere that I go, I'm receiving favor. And he was faithful in that. And Joseph developed the ability to interpret dreams while he was in prison. And the butler and the baker, he interpreted their dreams and the dreams came true. But he did ask the baker one thing: before you are restored, remember me. And the butler and the baker, he asked them, remember me when you are restored back to your position. And guess what? The baker was impaled on a pole, and the butler, which was the working for Potiphar, he went back into his position, and he actually forgot Joseph. He didn't remember him. And so Joseph was there sitting in prison like, man, why didn't he remember me? Why am I forgotten? Why is it seemingly every time I almost see the light, I get kicked back down? But he didn't let it discourage him. He kept doing what he had to do. And one day when the Pharaoh had the dream, he couldn't get anybody to interpret it. But that's when the butler remembered, oh, there was a guy in prison who interpreted my dream, and it came to pass. And so he called for Joseph out of the blue. And this is at the age of 30. And that's when he was taken from the prison straight to the palace. So he didn't have a story of going straight from a dream and a vision straight to working and boom, he's in a position of power. He had to wait years. He had to go through the mud. He had to go through turmoil. He had to go through despair. He had to go through the pit. He had to go through prison. I mean, think about your life. You may not have even gone through that much, and already you believe that you shouldn't have had this hand dealt to you. I've been widowed and divorced, and I've lost things, and I've lost friends, and I've lost money, and I've lost cars, and I've had to start over again. And you get to a certain level, and then another thing comes, and it feels like the rug is knocked out from under you. But that's not the end of the story, because the vision, that God gave me years ago, I know that there's still hope. So not giving up is not an option. And the wait may be longer than you think. And the last thing is keep your eyes on God, not on your circumstances. So I don't know what you're going through. Maybe today your circumstance is that you've lost everything and everyone and you're down to your last hope. I'll share a quick testimony before I close out of someone that I knew. She shared her journey with me, and it was actually a stranger. And somebody had put out a post on Facebook saying, if you can help a single mother, she's lost her home, she's sleeping in her car, and it was around the holidays, and she was looking for somebody to be able to help her with resources. So I decided to reach out to this young woman, and I helped. I was able to sew into her and to encourage her through her journey. And I helped her quite a few times, and she would reach out to me and tell me the stories that she was still going through and what she was going through. And it was getting worse and worse and worse. Health challenges, sleeping in her car, the homeless shelter was dangerous. She was trying to make enough money to keep her belongings in storage, and all of these things were happening. And car insurance is due, and she's got to keep the car because now that's the home that she's living in. All these things were happening, and man, I wished at that time I could have helped her more. But she went through that for quite a while longer. And one day, out of the blue, she reached out and said, "You know what? I just received an opportunity of a lifetime. I've been working part-time for this company, and they have a program that's like apprentice program, and it's paying way more money than I could have ever imagined. And I get to move to another state. They're going to relocate me, put me up in corporate housing, and I'm going to get to go through this program. And once I complete it, I'm going to be a part of an engineering program. And I never even believed that I would have qualified for something like this." So, what did that give me? That gave me hope. That gave me the understanding that even in that pit season, it was dire. I mean, she was going through it. There was no sight in there was no light in sight. And the only thing that I could do was give her a little financial help and pray for her constantly and keep praying and keep praying. And it just felt like it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And out of the blue, one day she went from the pit to the palace. So that could be your story too. The journey might not look like the instant success or the overnight influential success that you're looking for, but God has a set time for you. I've been waiting for years to see some dreams come through that still have not yet manifested. And every day I'm tempted to give up, and then hope comes back. And I'm tempted to give up, and somebody will call me and say, "You know what? I saw something that you did, and I want to tell you it's amazing. Keep going." Or I'll get another testimony from somebody who was going through a hard time and they overcame. So continue to believe. Continue to trust that your time is coming. Continue to believe that no matter how dark it looks, that your time has been preset by God. I hope this encouraged you today. Again, if you haven't subscribed to Bold Move Makers, I encourage you to do that. I'll be sharing more messages. I'm going to try to go and post messages a few times a week. So be looking out for, and maybe hit the alert bell, and you'll be notified when new posts are up. All right. Thanks a lot, and talk to you soon.